Hi, the first video I'm going to show you is basically warm-up exercises that we'll do for 15 minutes every single class before we start, so that you can start developing that fine motor skills from your hand. So let's do this real quick. The first one is going to be straight lines, and the way to do straight lines is you're going to draw a dot, and you're going to draw a different dot similar to that. Okay, so my goal is to draw a line that touches both points, right? So notice how I am kind of trying to get the paper. I can rotate it, get it to the right inclination, so I can just like do that and hit both points. A good trick here is do not look at what your hand is doing. Okay, look at where you want to go. I want to get to this point here. So I start here where my eyes are already looking in there, and that is how I hit it. Okay, so you're going to start doing dots and hitting that. I missed that one. You're going to continue practicing, and every time as you get comfortable with it, you can start increasing the distance. Okay, you can also practice maybe now doing a different direction, not going away from me, but coming towards me, depending on what you do. I find going away from me it's better. So again, it helps a lot. It's not very straight, it's a little squiggly. So, but that's the practice that you're going to do. An important thing to do, sometimes when we do lines, we do this, right? Notice how my actual arm is immobile, my forearm is moving. That's not very good, because if we, for example, connect two very distant points, we might create a curved line while we want to do a straight line. So the movement actually has to come from my shoulder in this direction. Okay, so as I fill this page with hundreds and hundreds of lines, in the end I have to be super comfortable to even do like a super long straight line that hits both points. Okay, so again, I'm looking where I want to go, and I actually miss for a little bit, but that's what you're going to do. That's the practice too. That's going to keep you warm up doing this straight lines, doing that. The next part for the warm-up exercises after you get tired of doing lines is going to be doing lines again, but now we're going to do curves. We connected 2 points before, now we're going to connect 3 points, maybe 4. And the goal is, for example, we have 1 point here, we have 1 point here, and we have 1 point there. Now I have to kind of rehearse the trajectory, and then I'm going to try to hit all points, right? I can make slow curves like this ones, where all points are more or less at the same distance. Let's connect. Okay, or I can do faster curve, which is, okay, what if I move 1 point closer to the other point, and you will see how that point changes the direction and the feel of that curve, and it looks like it's accelerating, it's going faster, right? I can actually also decelerate the curve. Okay, so I can go the other way. Okay, and I'm touching all 3 points. Another thing you can do is you can actually add a 4th point, so you can do like an undulation. Okay, so you're going to do this for a little bit more time, practicing and trying to hit all 3 points and getting your hand to be more fluid. I'm actually doing a pretty bad job at this, but it's hard to do with all this clothing. But that's what you're going to be practicing. Okay, so the next exercise that we're going to do is actually circles. I'm going to reuse one where I was actually practicing before. I was mentioning that when we do circles, we're going to use our shoulders to move our arm. Movement comes from there. It doesn't come from my wrist, because it's going to just make sense. Okay, so take a look at how it looks like. I'm just going to continue going until I start getting circle-like shapes, right? I can try for big circles. I can try for small circles. And you're going to practically fill the page with this circle that you're doing. You might see this not very circular because of the perspective of my webcam from my laptop. So my recommendation is always keep your page directly in front of your eyes, because that also happens and you think you're drawing circles when in reality you're drawing something that's not very circular. Okay, now the next part that we're going to do is ellipses. An ellipse is basically a deformed circle, right? It's a circle in perspective. This is my circle in front, so when I move it, it's gonna look more like an ellipse, right? That's what changes. I'm probably not doing a great job here, but you get the idea. Okay, so basically when we have an ellipse, we're gonna have two axes. One is the major axis, which divides the long parts, and then we have a minor axis, which is 90 degrees to that ellipse. Okay, and the way that I know that my ellipse is good or not is that I compare symmetry between my major axis sides and also by my minor axis sides. In this case, this really doesn't really look that symmetrical, so it's not a good ellipse. Okay, so I'll keep working. Probably some of my ellipses are going to be fatter than others, looking more like circles and ellipses, and I'll draw that major and minor axis to see if I'm doing a good job. Okay, I'll do it again. So you will, like you did with circles, draw several pages of ellipses, just practicing how this works, and believe me, you will thank me. If you really do this, you'll thank me when we get to cylinders, because this is a trick to doing that. And if you like, for example, cars, this is also a very important thing for wheels and stuff. Okay, so you will basically do this, you'll play around, you'll do big ellipses, small ellipses, thin ellipses, fat ellipses, but always you will put your major and minor axis. Make sure that it's symmetrical in both sides. Okay, so these are the warm-up exercises that we'll be working with 15 minutes before every single class starts, and I would like you to do that before you actually move on to the next exercise that I have planned for you. Thank you very much.